This is a Headgum podcast.
Who I am on stage and off stage are pretty similar.
Yeah.
I'm not just like, and let's be positive, and then I'm like, don't look at me.
The PAs cower in fear when you come down the hallway.
Like, nah, that's not it for me.
Whoa, okay, rock on.
Hopper, no.
Hopper, no. Are you watching that show?
I did watch it, yeah.
You've seen all of them.
I have.
I have only seen a couple episodes.
Yeah.
And I feel like I need to lock in.
Yeah, it's always good. Mike White knows what's up. He's
Once
a
they
good
got
writer.
Walton Goggins, I was like, it's time for me to get serious.
We had him in Righteous Gemstones and that at the same time.
Yeah.
Going from Baby Billy to his crazy ass character. They're both crazy, but for different reasons.
Walton Goggins is an American icon.
He's a treat.
I love him. Did you ever watch The Shield?
I didn't.
I watched.
Were you a big fan of The Shield? I did not see that coming.
Dude, no, I watched, for some reason, when I was like 15, I got obsessed with The Shield.
Yeah.
Because I loved him and Michael Chiklis. I was like, I need to be, and CCH Pounder.
These are my guys.
These are my guys. And I watched I should not have been watching The Shield at that age.
Yeah.
I watched all of The Shield twice.
Twice.
I loved it.
You were a Shield stan.
I was a
say.
Shieldinista. I loved it. I watched the whole thing, and that's when I fell in love with Walton Goggins.
Yeah.
My guy.
He's great.
I didn't even know he could do. It was such a serious role he was playing.
Yeah.
And then the first time I saw him in a comedy, I guess, was probably like season 1 of Righteous Gemstones.
And then didn't he? I didn't watch this either, but on Sons of Anarchy, didn't he wear women's clothing or something? Am I making this up?
Did he wear women's clothing on Sons of Anarchy?
Guys, was this a TikTok that led me astray? I don't know.
I've never seen that show. In fact, I don't really know what it is.
I don't really know.
In fact, I'll go one further and tell you.
Motorcycles?
Wait, can we pull it up? Him?
Guys, don't let TikTok have led me astray. See,
Oh.
right? That's him.
Why is he stunning?
Gorgeous.
No, why is he eating down? What the fuck? Chits, go one more to the right. Put
I
this
was
one on the
right.
screen for the episode.
Whoa.
He's eating down.
Where are those boobs?
Popper, yes.
Piper, yes.
Popper, yes.
I saw it on TikTok and I was like, I never saw the show, so I didn't experience this character he played.
Yeah, he looks good as fuck.
Yeah.
I like that for him.
So there's a lot of range there, is what I'm saying.
Have you ever gotten to do male drag?
I mean, kind of every day, just like wearing. I identify as a girl, but I'm all woman.
Yeah,
but
I'm all woman all
wear
the time.
I wear men's clothes because they fit me better.
Now, where are you shopping?
I almost straight up went the Gap, but I don't. Those were the olden days. Now I'm like a Vince gal. I love Vince.
I don't know.
Theory.
Ooh.
That kind of stuff.
Are these places you're going in person or are you shopping online?
I'll go to like a Neiman's or something.
Yeah.
know?
I'm an online shopper.
I hate online shopping.
I do too, but I have no
Nothing
choice.
Fits me.
They don't sell. To me, it's that way in stores. If I go in store and I ask them to find a piece of clothing that fits me,
Yeah.
they couldn't tear the curtains off the wall and get them wrapped around me. They don't have, no store has anything to fit
Yeah.
me.
They're just like, oh, bless your heart. No.
Truly bless your. They say take
Yeah.
your big ass to the website.
Yeah.
Because what they also will do is some of them will carry women's plus in stores and then not carry men's.
Yeah, that's weird.
Like Target and Old Navy both have. They go up to like 4 or 5X in
Yeah.
women's, and then in men's they stop at 2. And I say, what's that?
Probably online they carry less of a thing, so they just store it in a warehouse somewhere.
I bet.
They're like, these biggins like Fortune will go online and find it.
They know that I'll get my big ass on there and go scouring through the website because I have no choice. I'm a store refugee. I have no choice but to go to the internet and beg
There you go.
and then do big returns.
Yeah. But yeah, but I kind of keep it simple. I don't, as you can probably tell, go shopping a lot. I just kind of rehash the same outfit over and over again.
Well, for guys like me and you, it's easy. We're doing t-shirt, jeans, and a little
Yeah.
overshirt. That's where we're living.
We're getting by on our personalities, baby.
Baby.
Ain't nobody looking to see what I'm wearing.
Fortune's fun to have at dinner. Let's hang out with Fortune.
What blazer does Fortune have on tonight?
I would love to see you in a blazer, just a
do
casual day blazer.
I love a blazer.
Are you doing a casual day blazer?
I'm not rocking it during the day, but at like an event,
Yeah.
I'm rocking a blazer.
What you're on tour right now.
I am, yeah.
What's been going on tour? How's this one stacking up to the others?
It's good. It literally just started this last weekend. It's
Oh,
called
really?
Taking Care of Biscuits.
Uh-huh.
And
Yes, it sure is, hon.
yeah, it's all new material. My last special, Crushing It, came out a couple months ago on Netflix.
Yeah.
So this is the new stuff, and this will go about 1.5 years. It'll be about 100 cities, 150 shows.
You are really, you're out there.
I'm an overachiever.
You're busting your ass.
This is how I'm getting my self-worth.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, is it?
No.
Oh, I said, oh.
Oh,
That
no,
makes
I
it-
do like myself, but I enjoy working.
Yeah.
It's not even, I know it sounds so like, but I love to work. I love to tour, and I love to do the shows. The travel's hard. The travel part's
That to me is the
exhausting.
kicker. When it's just on stage, it's so fun. It's like, oh, I'm
Yeah.
doing my thing.
The stage part's the cake.
Yeah.
You're
that's the
basically
best
getting
part.
paid to travel.
And you're getting paid to just have fun and like interact with people. Like you're just talking to the room and seeing how they're feeling.
Yeah,
And then telling your jokes.
I love it because I keep it simple. It's just me. I don't have I have a tour person who goes to all the cities with me, and she's amazing. She takes care of everything. But like on the road, my wife used to tour with me a lot, but she's over it now.
She's like, hey, this isn't new for me
She's
now.
like,
I'm done.
you're good, right? So I'm like flying to a city, renting a car, puttering over to the stage. Like they're always like looking for an entourage or something, and I'm like, why? You think I want to take
Fortune,
5 people to Chili's? No.
I would love to be someone who gets to go to Chili's with you.
That we have to go to Chili's together.
If you said, Caleb, do you want to hop in my rental in Indianapolis and go
Yeah.
to Chili's? I'd say, yes, I sure do.
Yeah, we're gonna get that. We're gonna get that cheese pull with those triple dippers.
Oh my God.
The
You
crowd
got some,
goes
yeah,
wild.
baby. Killed with that one. You know I'm getting a triple dipper combo. I'm going nuts on some Southwest egg
Yes,
rolls
come
and the
on.
honey chipotle chicken crispers.
Yep.
That's good stuff.
It's really good.
Now, see, I'm as somebody who grew up fat in Missouri.
Yeah.
I've been on chain restaurants, Chili's. I've been a dedicated fan.
Same.
But now TikTok is making them like famous.
I know. It feels like everyone's discovering these places for the first time.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is my life, my childhood, like everything that I know and love is what you guys are discovering
Y'all
for
are
the
just
first
getting
time.
here, yeah.
Yeah.
Or they're like, can you believe there's $3 margaritas at Applebee's? I'm like, believe it. I was upselling them in high school.
That's right.
Yes, I believe
Yeah.
it. Come on.
Yeah, we rode off into the sunset with those margaritas and not driving. In the passenger
We had a couple of
seat.
those margaritas and got behind the wheel, honey. I was asking someone recently, and I don't know, maybe it was a live audience or something, but I didn't know that a DUI was a big deal until I got to college.
Really?
Because everyone,
I was pretty aware of it.
Everyone-
It was not good.
everyone where I grew up had one. I feel
Really?
like. Yes.
Oh no, they put the fear of God in us. We were not to do that.
North Carolina, where you're from,
Yeah.
is like crazy strict about driving.
Yeah.
You guys have like I had a friend who got pulled over for speeding in North Carolina, and they were like,
they
"We're the
love-
strictest in the country." About
They
it.
love it. I mean, my mom's always like, when you're driving from Charlotte to Raleigh, you better slow down.
Yeah,
Yeah, because they're bored. They just sit out there and wait for you.
I got like advice from a rental car company in Charlotte once. They were like, while I was picking up the car, he was
Yeah.
like, "Hey man, this isn't like other places.
Yeah.
Don't speed out
I
here."
don't know if maybe they need the money. Like
Maybe
I don't-
that's how they're doing it over there.
They're just like y'all better round them up.
Yeah, get those speeders.
Better round them up. Get that money for the state.
How did your podcast Handsome with Tig and May?
Yes,
Who
we
are
got
so
you to do
funny.
a question. We haven't used it yet. It's coming.
Well, I fucked it up like 4 times. Poor Fortune messaging me and being like, "Hey, here, super simple ask. Do you want to do a question for the show? Here's the parameters." I missed like 3 of the parameters on the first one. Second one, I asked a question that everyone's asked, like an idiot. Truly, you had to message me like 5 times and be like,
Hey,
"Loving
hug.
the effort."
Hey, Shug. It's always like, hey, Shug. This is great. One note.
However, I messed it up so many times, and it's been so long since I sent in the right one. Now I was like, who knows if they'll use it?
We
Fortune
will.
might have gotten sick of me
We
actually.
will.
How did that? I'm interested in how that came about.
Tig reached out to May and I and just wanted to do a podcast that was kind of like, gay friendly. Didn't know what that.
Are y'all gay?
We're pretty gay.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute.
My wife thinks so.
Yeah.
Pretty gay. Tig and I are lesbians. May's trans. A little different colors of the rainbow. May's also bi. So we're checking lots of boxes.
May's out there.
And we didn't know what it would be at first, and all of us were kind of like, we're busy, but also like, what if this is the greatest plot ever and we're not part of it? You know, that we didn't want to have that FOMO. I almost said POMO.
Well, we don't want to have POMO either.
Podcast of missing out. So we just really enjoyed each other, but didn't know each other really well. Like, I had met May at the Melbourne Comedy Festival years ago, knew Tig, but none of us were like in the weeds with each other as far as like daily life or knowing a lot. So we thought it'd also be a cool way to get to know each other. And May's in their 30s. I'm in my 40s. I know it's hard to believe.
It is.
And Tig's in her 50s. So it's also a different era of like approaching any kind of topic.
Oh, that's interesting.
So the podcast is nonsense. We talk about nothing and everything, and it's so silly, but we're about a year and a half in, and it's got like 30 million downloads. It's like this wild thing in all of our careers that we never saw, being a big thing. But we had a show at the Ryman the other night, and the crowd, they go nuts.
That is the Ryman, that's so cool.
It's really cool, yeah.
That's really freaking cool.
So it's awesome. We're about to do a 3,000 seat theater this weekend that's sold out, and yeah, people just like the ridiculousness of it. And I like being silly. I like, why else be a comedian if not to like have a good time with it and make people laugh?
I like pretty much anytime you pop up in a wig. When I see you doing a wig,
that's very
if I see Fortune's got a wig on, I turn the sound up and stop what I'm doing.
Like, let's see what's happening.
What's she
here?
cooking over there? Yeah,
I got a bunch of characters that because I started at the Groundlings, and these characters haven't seen the light of day. I gotta pop them out one of these days.
I would love to see, honestly, the first thing I want for you is a nap, because you're doing so much.
Thank you.
But if you get tired
and a triple dipper.
Yeah, a nap and a triple dipper. I'm gonna bring a triple dipper over to your house, tuck you into bed, and set it on one of those little bed and breakfast stands for you.
That sounds amazing.
That's
Caleb.
Valentine's Day.
Yes,
that's Valentine's Day. But yeah, if you get a break from, putting out specials all the time and touring sold out cities and doing all this crazy stuff with the podcast, I would love to see the Fortune Feimster one-woman show.
Really?
You pull out those wigs and start doing some characters, I'd be front row, baby.
I've thought about like how that would work, because there are different parts of my career that haven't intertwined with each other, and I've wondered what that would look like to, do a little bit of characters and do a little bit of stand-up, do a little bit of improv, a little bit of whatever serious stuff. I also don't mind being earnest on stage too, but I've never melded everything into one. So you never know. You
know that I'm such a fan of yours, and I know it's awkward to say to your face, but I just think you're so funny and so good at this. And
thanks, Caleb.
Truly, one of the most recent times that it's like there's just certain shows, and I'm not sure you've had a million of these, but you're watching a friend perform, or somebody that you know or are friendly with, or just even someone that you just kind of like from afar.
Yeah.
And they're doing so good that you're like, oh man, it's so cool that I also do this thing. And we get to like be a part of this community. And when you performed at Big Slick in Kansas City,
was fun.
and you just tore the roof off, and truly I was sitting with a bunch of the folks from SNL.
Yeah.
And we were just watching like, Fortune's a legend.
Fortune's
killing up there.
Cool.
It was so good.
A really neat show. I did not know what to expect. I got to go to your neck of the woods,
Kansas City, baby.
Yes, and everyone's so lovely there. It's such a community, and we did that show, and I was near the last of the comedians. There was a band after me. But they kept being like, all right, 12 minutes, don't go over, keep it tight.
Yeah.
I think they were worried I was going to just bomb.
Yeah.
And it ended up being a really magical time on stage. The audience was incredible. And that's where I got to meet you. Like I had seen you, but we had never really chatted, and we got to really actually have a conversation and hang out. I'm such a fan of yours. And you're so funny.
Knock it off. Get out of here.
I swear to God, your clips pop up, and it is such a treat. You're always saying something ridiculous, but it's always true. It's always like facts.
Something ridiculous should have been the name of the show.
Something
we missed
ridiculous.
that one.
But I'm always like, you're saying the things that people are thinking, like, yes, that's it. But it's so funny.
Fortunately, it gets me in trouble.
Well, I can see that as well.
Hey, it gets me in trouble every once in a while. Yeah, I think I first saw your stuff because what age did you move to LA?
I moved at 23.
23. And were you, I know you worked as an entertainment journalist for like 6 or 7 years.
Yeah.
Did you start that right away when you got out here?
No, I moved to LA like kind of a life experience. I got a job as a PA, personal assistant. I was terrible at it. You know, like I'm not an organized person. Like my calendar's chaos, but I know what it means, you know. But I can't like be in charge of someone else's life.
Yeah.
So I immediately was awful at that. But it got me out here. It was like that catalyst. Otherwise, I don't think I would have moved to LA. I was from a tiny town, like 8,000 people in North Carolina.
Is it Belmont?
Belmont, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Look at you, Barbara Walters.
I'm locked in. I'm locked in on Fortune. I know what's going on.
And 2 years in, I'd always loved comedy. I watched SNL growing up, like religiously. Didn't really follow stand up. That wasn't my hometown. Like people just didn't like have albums or anything like that. But I had heard of the Groundlings being a place where those SNL folks went, and I was like, that seems cool. So I just started taking improv classes for fun, really just to make friends. And my teachers just told me like, you got to keep going. And then, but the entertainment journalism started kind of on top of the personal assistant job. It was like a part-time job where the woman I was working for, her neighbor wrote for like the LA Daily News, and she was like, I heard you can write. Do you want to go cover movie premieres? And as a 23-year-old, you're like,
yeah, I do.
Yeah, come on. And those premieres were cool back in the day. Now Hollywood's bleeding money, so there's nothing for free. But back then, it was like the heyday. So it was like every party, every premiere, you'd get these giant swag bags full of like all this stuff. It was like the golden era of this town. And then, you know, now they're just like, get out of here. It's a cash bar. Like, we don't need you. Everyone's going to stream this anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was cool. I did it for like 7 years. I got to interview all these people and talk to people on the phone, went to events, went to award shows. I was invited to more things as a journalist than I am as an actor.
Yeah, get that Fortune in here.
Yeah.
And I feel like, I don't think I'm making this up, but I'm recalling on a while ago memory, but I feel like the first time I ever saw you do comedy was on my TV is maybe on like Chelsea Lately.
Yeah, that was
my
first technical TV thing was Last Comic Standing, but that's like, you know, a couple episodes. But Chelsea was that was my debut as far as like big break. 2011 that started.
Yeah.
I was a writer. I got a job as a writer first, and within a week, she kind of looked at me like a giant baby doll of like someone she could put in outfits.
Yeah.
So.
Which you love.
I know.
You love to be like, oh yeah, dress me up.
I know, but I was like, how much are you gonna pay me? All right, fine. I was broke, like, because the newspapers were starting to fold, and the whole world of news and everything was just shifting significantly. So that job was coming to an end, and I had a year of just like being broke. I was like, let me try to like do comedy full time, and I had no money. And her job, the opportunity came when I owed my roommate rent. I had maybe $20 in the bank. I mean, I was like, I'm about to have to go get another, you know, like I gotta go walk dogs or go to Starbucks or something.
Yeah.
Which I would have happily done, whatever it took, because I love this so much that I would have done whatever job I needed to keep the dream alive, to keep being able to stay out here and try. And I submitted a writing packet, and by some miracle, they hired me. And
did you have like a team at the time?
I had nothing.
So you just truly were like, I heard there was a packet opening. I'm sending one in.
I did have a manager. We had been together a little bit, and I was getting a lot of no's. There was not, and agents didn't want me. I had a lot of agents telling me no. I finally signed like a commercial agent and never got sent out because weirdly enough, products weren't trying to get this big old gal to sell their stuff. And it was, the business was different though. I know it wasn't that long ago, but it was 2010, 2011. Being different was not it. They did not want it. if you sounded different, looked different, a bigger person, gay, all the things. No, thank you. They wanted this cookie cutter thing on television, and Chelsea was that person that was like, no, I like the weirdos, the different people, the personalities. Like, she really opened the door in that way. And once she said yes, it was off to the races. That was when everyone started to say yes.
That's the tough thing is like so often, even when, you know, it's the way to be successful is to be succeeding. It's like people want to put you in things because they've seen you in things.
Exactly.
And so it's like, God, if someone would just...
I know. So, you know, I don't have like my own TV show to like hire people, but, you know, like on the road or shows or clubs, I'm always trying to find different comics that I like or think are funny. And like, hey, you want to do some spots tonight with me? It's nothing big that I can do for people, but something, you know, it would have meant a lot to me coming up to have a comic put me on their show. And you try to give people opportunities that you just think are funny. In hopes that they'll keep growing and get their opportunities.
It's also
like
hard
that.
because so much of the, like if you want to do acting or TV or film or whatever, it's like, okay, well, so much of it is type. And so they have to have seen someone like you do really well, and they have to have seen audiences respond to someone like you. And you know, it's an interesting time now because everyone, since I started this stuff, has been like, well, you'll probably have to make your own thing.
Yeah,
you know, because you're fat and gay, and so if they want a fat guy with tattoos or whatever, they're looking for like an older guy who's like gruff and straight.
Yeah,
and if they want a gay guy, they want like a thin
type.
Yeah, no one is looking for me. You know, there are things I can squeeze into.
We could have a podcast called Fat and Gay.
And guess what, Fortune? Whenever you're ready, it's time to lock in. Our Fat Gay podcast would go crazy. It would go crazy.
It'd be like, we are unapologetically fat and gay. Anyway, I'll work on that theme song.
We are unapologetically fat and gay.
I have to be able to say the word unapologetically. I'm like, unapologetically.
Well, that could be the bit. We call it Big Homo.
That's right. Big Homo.
And all of our listeners are in the pocket of Big Homo.
That's actually a pretty great title for a podcast. Big
I'm nothing
Homo.
if not a marketer, Fortune.
Yeah.
I'll lock in on our show whenever you say the word.
It's good that you're blazing your own way because no one else is going to come up with what you're coming up with.
You got to come up with Big Homo. Yeah, I feel like, but then it's interesting because that was the answer for so long. They're like, you got to make your own thing. You got to make your own thing. And then you try, and it's like there are less writers' rooms than ever. There are less shows getting made than ever. There's really not an indie film market anymore.
Yeah.
So it's just an interesting time to be someone different, trying to make your own way.
But you know, you're doing the exact thing that you should be doing, like having a podcast that highlights you and your sense of humor. That's doing more for you than any, like, you could get on like a TV show right now, but it's like one of a gazillion TV shows that gets lost in the, you know, shuffle. It's not what it once was, that medium.
Well,
you know?
it's especially for breaking or exposing people. More people watch this show than they do like a lot of streamer shows.
For sure.
And I know you know that because you've seen the numbers for your podcast. It's like more people are watching this shit than anybody's watching network TV.
Yeah, and people will see this and see you and be like, oh my God, I love Caleb. I love what he does. I want to put him in my show. And then that, you know, it's you're doing exactly the thing that you have to do now, because going the way of like studios and networks and them giving you the breaks is just not it anymore.
When and how did you get your first special? What did that look like?
Well, I kind of went up the pipeline of like, you started with like a Comedy Central half hour. That was like always
those were my
goal.
favorites. When they were doing those, I watched I discovered so many comics through that.
Well, that's because that's what everyone did. I mean, you were there was no stand up worth their salt that didn't do like a, you know, some kind of Comedy Central stand up thing at that time. So that was 2014 when I was like, I started stand up 2007, started Last Comic Standing in 2010, started really touring 2010, 11. And then 14 was the half hour. So that got people a little bit more familiar with me. And then I started taking stand-up a little bit more seriously, but still not in the way I do it now, because Mindy Project was right after that. And so I was like, oh, I like this sitcom life. This is good. I don't need to work hard. Yeah. I was like, I don't need to be on the road. This is nice.
Yeah.
So I kind of was a little lazy about stand-up for a couple years. Still doing it, but not hardcore. But But I got an opportunity to do the half hour. Netflix decided to do half hours for the first time. It was a stacked group. It was like Nate Bargatze and Nikki Glazer, Deion Cole. It was a really good group. And so that was where I got on Netflix's radar. And then I was like, well, I've done a half hour. Clearly, they're going to want an hour. And they were like, not right now. Come back to us in a while. So, but it made me work. Like, it made me start taking stand-up really seriously. So I like got on the road and just like, was just hardcore doing clubs. And then in 2009, it took 2 years to get them to like pay me any mind again. And they asked me to do a radio show for them with Tom Papa for SiriusXM. And they were like, well, if you're going to be talking to comics, talking about stand-up, might as well give you an hour. So that was where it all started.
Well, I'm just listening to all that and thinking about this girl. I'm just thinking about this person right here.
I love it when you think about girls.
I'm thinking about her.
Oh, look at that.
I'm thinking about
pretty
her.
princess.
Look at her.
Wow. It looks like that is, just so y'all know, that is my brother. And it does look like I'm marrying my brother, which is wild with this accent.
Little did she know.
That's a true wedding gown.
Yeah, you look stunning.
Thank you. That's the most feminine I've ever been in my entire life. It was for the debutante bullcrap my mom made me do. I was so embarrassed of it and would not talk about it for years. But when I did Sweet and Salty, my first hour on Netflix, my friend was the producer of it, and she was like, "You have to talk about this." And I was like,
"It's interesting. It's like a whole part of the country does stuff like that."
I know, it's so old school. You're something about trying to be a lady, learning manners. Yeah. Clearly, it didn't stick.
It all reminds me of Blanche Devereaux.
I know. Wow, I do declare.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mom made me do it because I talked about it in my special. My family used to have money back in the day. They were the, keeping up with the Joneses type. My grandfather was a very well-known contractor. Built all these schools and houses and beautiful places. But he died young and unexpectedly, and my family lost all the money by the time my brothers and I came around. So I grew up broke because my dad lived, grew up in a trailer park. Mm-hmm. My mom was a teacher, like the very blue collar life. But my mom still had her good old days were the debutante days, and she kept wanting to get back to that. But I'm like, we don't have the money to do that. And then
we're not debutantes, Mom.
We're not debutantes.
Yeah.
And then I'd come home and our couch would be missing, so she could pay for the party. And I'd rather have a couch. Like, can we get that couch back? I don't want to go to this because you had to pay for all the events and stuff. And I don't want to. I'm like, we're broke.
Did you ever live in a trailer, like a double wide or single wide?
No, my dad lived in one after my parents split. So like, I didn't live there full time, but I'd go like stay with him for a night.
I'm only asking because I also grew up very poor, and we had a shitty house for a number of years.
Yeah,
that just like sucked, and then we moved into a double wide. And I just remember I'd heard people at school, kids who had nicer houses, talking about how trailer park trash or whatever.
Yeah,
and I was like, damn, that trailer was a big upgrade for us.
This is a palace.
I had my own wing because it was the way it was set up. Usually is there's like the master suite or whatever on one end, which was my mom, of course.
Yeah,
and then through the living room all the way on the other end of the trailer, I had my own bedroom and bathroom. I was like, I'm living nice.
That's pretty nice.
I thought it was great.
Our house was big because my mom bought it with what was left of her inheritance money. Mm-hmm. But it was like an old house that was built in like 1897. Everything was falling apart inside of it. It was haunted for sure. And like we couldn't afford to heat it and cool it. So I remember friends spent the night in high school and they're like, oh my God, like summertime. They're like, get me out of here.
Fortune, we're not coming over no more.
They basically were like, never again. I had like 2 fans on everyone. Everyone's just sweating. And these old ass houses are, even though they're big, it was just falling apart. It was like the money pit house.
You guys know what time it is. It's time to hear from some of our fabulous sponsors. This episode is sponsored by our friends at Aura Frames. Mother's Day is upon us, folks. Don't get caught buying the same old gifts this year like sweaters, candles, or heaven forbid another bathrobe. Your mother deserves better than all that. Named the best digital photo frame by Wirecutter, Aura frames are guaranteed to mix things up this year. Mother's Day should be a day to show your mom just how much you appreciate all the simple things she's done for you, like buying you shoes or giving you the gift of life. And a brand new way to display all her favorite photos is a great way to do that. Aura frames come with unlimited storage, so you can share as many photos as you want from your phone to mom's Aura frame. Not only will she be grateful it's not another sweater, she'll also love that an Aura frame means she gets to see more of you. And don't even worry about having to wrap this gift yourself. Every frame comes packaged in a premium gift box with no price tag. Aura has a great deal for Mother's Day. For a limited time, listeners can save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off plus free shipping on their best-selling Carver matte frame. That's AURA frames.com, promo code SOTRUE. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions apply. This episode of So True is brought to you by Booking.com. Booking.yeah. Every time I use Booking.com to find a place to stay in the US, I know they'll have exactly what I'm looking for. They have a huge variety of options from hotels to vacation rentals, and I know I can find exactly what I'm looking for. I found Booking.com has something for everyone. In my friend group, I'm definitely the planner. If I didn't do it, no one would. So when it's time to take that group vacation to a quaint mountain town, I sprint to my computer and go right to Booking.com. Now, my friends can be pretty specific about what they need out of a place to stay on vacation. We simply must have a full kitchen so I can make some of my famous double chocolatey chip waffles. Booking.com makes it easy and convenient to find so many great places to stay all across the country where I can make my famous double chocolatey chip waffles. No matter who you are, Booking.com helps you find the stay that's ridiculously right for you. Like John Travolta when he said, the wickedly that's ridiculously right for you. Yeah, leave that in. I like that. Find exactly what you're booking for on Booking.com. Booking.yeah.
Do you get back to North Carolina very often?
Yeah, I'll go a couple times a year. My family still lives out there, so I'll go visit.
So I love North Carolina.
I know. It's nice. I'm from a really cute little town that was very boring and kind of dead when I was growing up, but it's like totally revitalized. People love living there. It's cute. It's a really cute area.
What revitalized it? Do you know?
I know exactly what did it. They started selling liquor.
That'll do it.
That'll do it.
That'll do it. Hey, there you go.
It was a dry town when I was growing up. So, nice restaurants like Chili's won't come in there. No one's going to open a restaurant if they can't sell alcohol because that's where they make all their money.
Yeah.
So there was just nothing like cute or cool or anything to like attract people. And then when I was in college, they called it Liquor by the Drink. And my mom was part of the group that was trying to get it passed.
I know that's right.
My mom was like, "We need alcohol.
I know that's right.
Belmont's dying. We got to get that liquor in here." And their group like shuttled people from the Belmont Abbey College to go vote. Like they were hardcore.
They're like, "We're getting this done."
And all the Baptists were like, "This is the devil. Like you can't do it." And it saved it really changed our whole town. It made all these cute little restaurants come in. The Jonas Brothers, their dad opened a restaurant there. I think he just sold it.
In Belmont?
In Belmont.
Oh my God.
He's like from that area. Or his mom or something that grew up in the area. I'm not sure which of the family. Grandmother still lives there. Yeah. Or did live there. I think she might have passed. But they opened up the second really cute restaurant in town. And I think the Jonas Brothers came and sang there. They had, because it was one of those places where you would eat, but there was also a stage and people would perform.
Just eating at the Jonas Brothers' dad's restaurant while they're in the corner, like red dress. That is so funny. Mm-hmm. Where is Belmont in relation to Boone or Raleigh?
It's right outside of Charlotte.
Okay, got you.
So we are on the other side of the airport. We're almost closer to the airport than actual Charlotte is.
Yeah. I've been through there then.
Yeah.
I've been through there. I love North Carolina. Anytime I get a chance to go, I just love it down there.
It's nice folks, good manners.
You think you'd ever move back over there?
I had a house there for a minute.
In Belmont? Or?
Yeah, in Belmont, thinking I would spend a lot of time there, and I'm just so busy.
Yeah.
I never got home. So I don't know. It's like one of those Hallmark movie thoughts of like, wouldn't this be cute? Like, big city girl goes back home to live, and it's never like that. It's like,
Well, where's your wife from?
she's from Michigan, outside of Detroit.
Michigan's a pretty nice place to.
Yeah.
If you were going to do another place, Michigan's
They got
a
all
nice
those
place
Great
to do
Lakes,
it.
so
It's pretty up there.
Yeah.
And it's like the climate refuge. Like when everything
Yeah,
starts
there's
to get
something-
weird on the coast, it's going to be.
there's nothing crazy there except it gets cold, but
Yeah.
they don't have all the weather stuff.
And your wife's name is Jax.
It's Jacqueline, but she goes by Jax.
Jax.
Yeah,
And y'all met in. Did you meet at Chicago Pride or?
we did. Yeah.
How did y'all? How did that happen? How did you guys meet?
It was Pride weekend. They have this lesbian event in the parking lot.
Yeah,
'Cause
you know.
you know those lesbians. Well, there's like there's like 8 lesbian bars in the whole country left.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So we're relegated to the parking lot, and it's called Backlot Bash. They do this thing every year, and all the lesbians in Chicago descend upon this parking lot.
Got to be at like 3 p.m. if I know lesbians.
Caleb,
Yeah, I know, because
it is
there's 1 hour.
exact time.
There's 1 hour of the day you're getting these folks
Yeah.
out of the house.
It is an afternoon situation, and I knew them because I had done a show there a couple years prior, and I had a show in Minneapolis the night before. They were like, come through, and I was single. I was like, why not? What do I have to live for?
Why not go to the lesbian parking lot and see what's there for me?
Just like fishing.
Yeah.
Let's go fishing in Chicago. And yeah, I met her like right away. She came up with a girl that her friend wanted a picture, and I'm happy to take pictures. And, we just started chatting and kept running into each other all night, and just sort of blossomed from there. I never thought that would be how you could meet someone.
That is one of the cutest things I've ever heard.
Because before her, I mean, I dated some lovely girls, but I also dated some duds, and I just didn't know like how to meet a quality person, and I was getting kind of exasperated with dating, and was kind of ready to just like take a break from it, and it was always like, how am I going to meet a quality person? And she just walked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not only quality person, but also I'm assuming by that point, just being on the road so much and having a job that takes you away so much is like,
Yeah.
all right, well, even if I do meet someone quality, how am I going to build a thing?
Yeah, for sure. And the first few years we were together, she was on the road with me a lot. She ended up moving to LA after a year of dating. So we were both, we were together but on the road a ton. And in the last couple of years, she's like, go do your thing.
Yeah, she's like, I'm all good.
Yeah, you think the road's cool and fun, and until after a while, you're like, this is enough. But
it stops being so charming, especially on those days when you're going in just in time to get to the venue.
Yeah,
and then you wake up and just truly straight away leave.
Yeah.
It's like you were technically in Tulsa, but nothing to show for it.
Yeah, you're lucky to go to like one coffee shop and like maybe one restaurant.
Yeah.
At this point.
And if you're not the person who's doing the fun show on stage, it's kind of like, whoa,
Yeah.
I'm going to maybe stay home. You go ahead.
Yeah, it's funny too because I know so many people that live all across the country. I don't know how, just over the years meeting different people, and every time I'm on tour, friends reach out like, let's hang out, and you want to like hang out and see people, but you're also like, I'm so tired. I
Yeah.
don't have the energy, but because our job is so fun, they're kind of like, yeah, well, it's not like you're working or anything. You're just going up there and telling your ha-ha jokes, like, let's go party.
Well, also, you're so good at it that you do make it look effortless. So people come watch you for an hour and they're like, oh, Fortune just had a blast.
Yeah.
It's like, well, there was a lot of work going on.
Yeah. I'm still writing and memorizing and entertaining it. It's not easy to like be up there, for an hour with just a microphone, and you're supposed to command the attention of 3,000 people. That means you're exerting a lot of energy. Your output is crazy.
And you're on a tightrope. I had a friend. We do some 2-show nights on the podcast tour, and I'm on stage during the podcast shows for a little over 2 hours. And
that's a lot. Yeah,
it's a lot. And then we had a 2-show night, and one of my friends was kind of like, "You're really not going to go out with us?" And I was like, "I'll kill you."
Yeah.
I was like, you cannot imagine how I'm feeling right now. I want to be a good time. Yeah, I want to be a good time too, but like, good God, I'm tired.
You tell them all the things you'd rather do than hang out with them.
Yeah. I'm like, I need to sleep. I need to pack. I need to shower. Yeah. The whole thing.
Yeah, you can't keep up that pace and also go out in every city. It's just impossible.
It's not good. Well, I had a question I wanted to ask you, which was if you could only choose one. This is a North Carolina, like real Sophie's choice for North Carolinians.
No.
If you could only choose one,
Yeah.
Bojangles or Cookout?
I mean, I know people love Cookout.
Oh my God, not it being so easy for you. Not you being like, I've got it immediately.
Well, Cookout's wild because you literally get like a sandwich and they're like, as your side, you can get a corn dog.
Which, by the way,
or a quesadilla. My side is a quesadilla.
The side options are like, usually it's like French fries or tater tots, and at Cookout it's like, did you want a ham steak?
Yeah, it's like not normal, but I mean, I appreciate that they offer that up. I'm a Bojangles gal. I'm a biscuits gal. That Cajun filet biscuit, give it to me.
I know.
Yeah, so I'm going Bojangles, but I know they're diehard Cookout fans.
To me, my North Carolina move is as soon as I land, usually in the daytime, I'm going to Bojangles.
Yeah.
And then after the show or the whatever, late at night,
that's the Cookout.
That's the Cookout moment.
Yeah.
That corn dog as a side is going to come in handy around 1 a.m.
Yeah, Cookout was not near where I live, so I didn't grow up on the Cookout. But it's, I think, near where I went to college, so I had a lot of late night college situations there.
I love that.
Yeah.
What's so true to you, Fortune?
Oh God, just living life. Living, laughing, loving.
Living, laughing, loving?
Yeah, live, laugh, love, y'all.
Is that what you're going to give to the people? Is to live, laugh, love? Is that your edict for the...
That was the name of my last store, was Live, Laugh, Love.
Uh-huh.
But I stand by it. Because who doesn't want to live? Who doesn't like to... You stop.
Live, laugh, love. We're getting
that's
there.
That's right. You want to laugh and love? Yeah. So that's so true to me, is trying to stay positive.
I could see you you're a very positive person. I could see you being one of those little old Southern ladies who has like just a house adorned floor to ceiling and little signs like that.
I know.
Like when we're in the kitchen, you better be eating or dancing.
I do. I used to like make fun of my mom for those signs, and then when Jax moved in, she was like, "What is this?" And it was a Live, Laugh, Love sign, and I was like, "That's art."
Yeah.
She's like, "No, that's just words on a piece of wood."
But they inspire me. So now what?
It's wine o'clock.
Sometimes it is wine o'clock.
And I had a giant sign made that said "Gather." Like, you can't, like that is my decor, like a Home Goods. Come on.
Yeah.
But no, I'm just, I like to be positive. I like to spread positivity. I know it's easy to get into the rut of things, and especially with the way of the world right now, and there's so much chaos everywhere. So I try to stay true to that, to like finding the light, to find what the positive thing is in a situation. I just think it helps me get through these kind of times, and that's what I try to bring to my comedy, is the silly, the positive, the taking things that can be hard, and like in my special Sweet and Salty, I talk about coming out. I do it in a really funny, silly way, but at the base of that is a sad story about someone being afraid their family was going to disown them.
Yeah.
So I try to take these topics that are a little tougher, but like what's the silver lining there? So
yeah. I think it's also like I really appreciate that, because I feel like I like kindness is important to me, but I have no problem being a little like edgier or more like intense about my opinions or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm like, that's the thing about any group of people. Like, there's a lot of us doing things a lot of different ways, and I just like that there's so many different, like, I could never stay as positive as you are all the time, and I love it. Like, I love seeing you on my timeline, because I'm like, oh, it's so Fortune, and it's so nice to just feel that back towards me, and to be like, it feels just like, I don't know. It feels like a form of queerness that like I am tapped into sometimes, but I just love seeing it.
I think the reason why I can be in the lane that I'm in is because I'm not putting on a show.
Yeah.
I'm not pretending to be kind. I'm not pretending to be positive. It genuinely is who I am. I wake up feeling pretty good. I mean, I'm very lucky. I know not everyone is fortunate enough to naturally see the glass half full, but for whatever reason, I was lucky enough to have that just come forward in a very genuine way.
It's your actual disposition.
It's who I am. I'm like who I am on stage and off stage are pretty similar.
Yeah.
I'm not just like, and let's be positive, and then I'm like, don't look at me.
The PAs cower in fear when you come down the hallway.
Like, nah, that's not it for me.
I have, several people I like in my life that are very, very funny comics.
Yeah.
But they have a following that's like they look to this person to get answers, and I'm like, oh, don't ask that.
You're like they do not.
I'm like, I love them, but they're not the answers person.
Yeah, if you knew how their life was running, you would not want them telling you what to do.
Absolutely. I'm like, hey, behind closed doors, that is not your not your person, I promise.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so
and there's
funny.
quite a few of those.
There are, where it's because they're just people. It's like, that's the thing, having 1 million followers on Instagram or whatever is like, that doesn't qualify someone to help you run your life or to help you with politics. Like, they're the same as you.
Yeah, but that kind of goes with like, isn't it like life coaches and therapists? I mean, God bless them. I love they're helping people, but sometimes they're messy. They're messy.
Absolutely.
Not all of them. Hashtag not all life coaches, but
life coaches though. Life coaches is a funny one because you're only a life coach when you don't want to get certification in the state you're working in.
I don't want to go to school.
Like, I am a life coach. Like, you can't. Anyone can call themselves a life coach.
That's true. They're like, I don't really want to go get a degree, but I will listen to a Mel Robbins podcast and help you in your life.
I am not certified by the state, but I do have opinions.
Yeah, I mean,
come to my office.
That's essentially it.
Yeah.
But like, did you ever fall down that rabbit hole on TikTok where it's all like the people trying to give the therapy advice? It's like a girl in her car, like, let me tell you the 4 attachment styles.
No.
And they're not cool. They've just are regurgitating something someone else has said, but like now they're your like life coach guru.
That is so
They
funny.
literally just maxed the triple dipper in their car, and now they're telling you about attachment styles. You got to go down that therapy rabbit hole on TikTok.
This podcast is brought to you by Squarespace. Squarespace is the all-in-one website platform designed to help you stand out and succeed online. Whether you're just starting out or scaling your business, Squarespace gives you everything you need to claim your domain, showcase your offerings with a professional website, grow your brand, and get paid all in one place. We all can use a good website in this day and age, I tell you what. And Squarespace has so many awesome features to get yours up and running. Squarespace gives you everything you need to offer services and get paid all in one place. From consultations to events and experiences, you guys see this fly? Showcase your offerings with a customizable website designed to attract clients and grow your business. Get paid on time with professional on-brand invoices and online payments. Plus, streamline your workflow with built-in appointment scheduling and email marketing tools. Get discovered fast with integrated Squarespace SEO tools. Every website is optimized to be indexed with meta descriptions, an auto-generated sitemap, and more. So you show up more often on search engines and bring in more of your ideal customers. Head to squarespace.com/SoTrue for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, use offer code SoTrue to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. This podcast is sponsored by the crisp, refreshing Angry Orchard. Listen, guys, there's a litany of things that we shouldn't get angry about, but let's be honest, sometimes it's hard not to be. For example, don't get angry that your beloved sports team keeps blowing leads in the fourth quarter. Don't get angry that you just stubbed your toe like the dang furniture has a vendetta out for you. Don't get angry when autocorrect changes a word that's normal to something ridiculous. Instead, get an Angry Orchard and feel good. Feel chill and refreshed, not pissed off, just having a tasty orchard. Once you get a cold, Angry Orchard in your hand, all those little problems start to fade away, and you can kick back, put your feet up, and forget about your troubles for a moment or two. Angry Orchard is the #1 hard cider in the country. It's naturally refreshing, delicious, and has just the right amount of sweetness that makes it the perfect drink when you're looking for something a little different. Grab an Angry Orchard cider today. Don't get angry, get Orchard. Please drink responsibly.
One of the funniest things about the internet to me right now, I really try not to watch. Like, I don't scroll much. I look at what my friends have shared on Insta stories. That's really where I'm at. But like, one of the funniest thing is the way that everyone's trying to make their content look casual, even when it's incredibly calculated.
Yeah.
And one of the ways that plays out in videos specifically is people choosing to eat.
Oh.
They're like, okay, so I was just thinking about, it just kind
yeah.
of came into my mind, and then they say something that they've clearly written and planned for months.
Yeah.
And it's like the way that eating has become like a signifier to the audience that I don't care that much about what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is so interesting to me.
You know what's interesting to me too is people are doing a lot of videos just eating. They're not even giving any information.
Yeah.
And it is like the sloppier you eat, the better.
Yeah.
Where they have sauce like running down their faces and their fingers.
Yeah.
And these people have like 5 million followers.
Yeah, people
And
love it.
I'm like, what? Why?
Yeah, I don't get it.
But I'm not even getting life advice while they're doing this. They're just like,
The sandwich I have that you don't.
Yeah, showing it to you on the camera. And everyone's like, yeah, more of this, please.
Dude.
And we're over here trying to give them stand-up clips like fucking idiots.
Yeah. Truly, us just being like, so anyone got any dating stories? Yeah.
Yeah, here we are trying to write something.
Yeah.
And these people are just like licking their fingers.
Well, it's an interesting, like, I have so many friends who are, you know, I started in live comedy and then internet stuff happened afterwards.
Yeah.
And I have so many friends who truly, purely came from the internet. And a lot of them have no interest in any kind of traditional media or stand-up or anything because they're like, oh, well, I would make... If I do 2 brand deals, I make more than somebody acting on a whole season of network TV.
Yeah, that's wild.
So it's like I could just sit in my home for an hour and do my brand deals. Why would I want to go work on a really intense network TV show?
Yeah,
and it's like, great. Well, that's the difference between like income and artistry. But like the lack of interest in artistry, but then sometimes being perceived as artists.
Yeah.
And this doesn't apply. There are so many friends I have that are purely like digital native that are also artists.
Right, yeah.
But there's this weird cross section of people who it's truly just income for them. And I'm like, oh, that's really interesting. I never thought, like when I was starting out in comedy, the internet wasn't really like, maybe it was like that and I didn't know it.
Yeah.
To me, the goal was like you wanted to get on TV and movies.
Right, yeah.
That was like money and you got to make interesting stuff and meet cool people.
Yeah.
And that was like the thing. But so many people now, or when I do college gigs and talk to some of the college students, they just want to be influencers.
Yeah, they want to know like what famous TikTokers you know, or
Yeah.
they don't care about Jennifer Aniston or
No.
George Clooney. They're like, ugh.
No.
They're like Mr. Beast.
If I am out with like a very, like, you know, if I have an actor friend who's been in like a bunch of things and they're really, really talented and well known and we go out, they mostly get left alone.
Yeah.
If I go out with an influencer friend, it is fucking bananas.
I bet. Yeah.
It's crazy the way that they get like.
Yeah. But, you know, that's just where it's headed,
Yeah.
the media is. And so that's why I'm just, like, doing my thing. And, like, if anyone comes to a show or likes a video, I'm just like, thank you, Jesus, like, that I can keep, you know, rolling on this path that I'm on because I don't know how to change it up. I don't know how to. I mean, it took me, you know, I'm still figuring out TikTok. Like, it's a different medium.
Yeah.
I figured out the old way. The studio way and the network way, and now it's kind of this new wild west. But it's, you know, but I'm also the type that is the more the merrier. There's a lot of seats at the table, and there's some comics that, you know, get annoyed by people going up the ladder faster in a different way, and I'm just like, they're funny, they're talented.
Yeah.
They figured out a way to do it. Good for them.
Well, and to me, ultimately, it's like I understand that perspective. Like I understand some people who have really grinded and being like, I can't sell tickets and it's really frustrating. I get the perspective.
Yeah.
But I'm like, at the end of the day, what you're talking about is people who captured an audience and got them to come out.
And did a lot of work. It's
Yeah.
still like, you know, the people that are successful on these mediums like TikTok still have to do a ton of work. Those editing the videos and capturing the content, that stuff's hard.
Yeah.
So.
You said thank you, Jesus, and I want to ask you an earnest question, but
About Jesus?
I want to ask about
Finally,
Jesus. You know me.
Is talking about Jesus.
You know I want to talk about Jesus because I grew up in Missouri, and it's very similar to North
Oh,
Carolina.
man, Missouri really... Every time I drive through Missouri, lots of Jesus billboards.
Very Jesus-y, and
Yeah.
very, especially down in the southern part of the state. Very, I think it's why I like North Carolina so much. Just reminds me of home. Like
Yeah.
it's very like mountainous and pretty, and trees everywhere. What's your feeling on religion these days?
I mean, I grew up Methodist, so kind of the tame version of Christianity.
Yeah.
I liked my church because it was, I mean, growing up in the South, you just went to church every Sunday. That's part of the life you live there. That's a huge social aspect of living in a small town. There's a church on literally every corner, it feels like. So that was just a given that you go to church. My college was Presbyterian, but I liked the followings of being a Methodist, at least the United Methodist. They have divided. I don't know if you knew that, but there's a sect that's divided because of the gay. Honestly, the gay stuff is what divided it. The United Methodists are the inclusive ones, so that's where my mom still goes to that church, and it was just about being a good person. Be a good person, be good to others. There was always like a nice message. So I took that from that experience. I didn't really want to, I don't go to church. It's not how I don't want to spend my time there. I'll go home and go to church with my mom because she's like, just loves having someone go to church with her.
It's her Sunday, yeah.
And I'm good at singing hymns.
Oh, I know that's right.
The Lord bless you. No, I don't want to. I don't want to turn all your listeners on right now.
Too late.
But yeah, I can sing a hymn. But yeah, I'm not a church gal, but I appreciate the things it gave me. I feel like morals are important to me. Like trying to be a good person. That's important to me. Doing right by people. So I take that from my experience with Christianity, I guess. But there's so much about the church that is so complicated. Not that church, but church in general.
Capital C, yeah.
Especially being a gay person, it's taught in some religions to hate people based on that, and to that there are others that aren't welcome here, and I just don't believe in that. I don't believe in using religion as a weapon. So I take the good. Definitely leave the bad.
Leave the rest, yeah.
And just try to be a decent person.
Yeah.
And that's so I'd say spiritual more than actual. I'm not religious, more spiritual.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so interesting. Like I feel like Christians must feel similarly to like kind of how I feel when people who don't know anything about Missouri talk about Missouri.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, those like redneck idiot, kind of like that vibe of tone towards a place like Missouri or North Carolina, where I'm like, oh, yikes. Because certainly there are people there who would have ideas that you wouldn't like if you're a progressive person or a gay person. But like there's a whole bunch of people who don't feel that way. And I would say actually the overwhelming majority of people there are not the things that you're worried about. They're not racist or homophobic or misogynistic or whatever. But yeah, the same thing with Christianity. I feel like I grew up around some pretty tough opinions about gay people, of course.
Right.
But like, I don't know, I just feel like most people were kind of like, if you're nice to people, we don't really care what you do.
Yeah.
That's all I really, that's actually, by the way, all I was asking for.
Yeah.
I wasn't like, you don't need to wave a rainbow flag.
Yeah.
He was like, I don't care what you do. I'm like, that's great.
Yeah, leave me alone.
I like that.
Just leave me alone.
That's fine. I'll take that every day.
Yeah. And it's interesting because like, when I go on tour, I go everywhere, and I'll get flack from people about going to certain red states. I go to all the red states. I go to all these conservative places. I don't shy away from it, and people will be like, "Why would you go there?" And I'm like, they need someone like me, like you, more than ever. Like, they need representation there, and people coming in telling other stories besides the echo chamber that's in that part of town, because there are people like us when we were young that could have really benefited from hearing someone's story like us that we didn't have access to. Luckily there's more access now as far as online and TV and whatnot, but I didn't come out till I was 25 because I didn't see myself represented in anything. I couldn't look at someone else's story and be like, oh wait, I feel that. I didn't know how to put what I was feeling into words. Like, what is this that I'm experiencing? Where I think I'm this one thing, but I don't want to admit it because it's pretty scary. Because these, people are telling me it's bad, but it can't be bad. But there's no one showing you the way. Yeah. And so I like that. That I guess it's a responsibility of just sharing your story of like going in these places that need other people to hear a different story than the ones around them,
and just unlocking like a possibility. Like I feel like I didn't know an openly gay adult until I was in my 20s, and the only narrative I had was either from TV, which was extremely slim and stereotypical, or from church, which was even slimmer and hateful. And so just to know that a gay person could like pay their bills and hang out with their friends, or just like be a normal person who had a happy life. Like that was a surprise to me. I didn't know that.
Same here. I didn't know any out gay people either till I moved to LA, and that seems crazy to me, you know, in hindsight. But I remember watching The L Word for the first time, and people were like, "Oh, that was so sexy." I'm like, "Yeah, it was so sexy," but I was into the fact that they were just a bunch of lesbians were having a coffee together. You know, like I thought that was great. I was so pumped about that.
Like, you know what turned me on when they hung out at the park?
That latte they were drinking together, just being gay, drinking lattes. Yeah, you just want to see normalcy, like that. Their life is not that much different than anybody else's life.
Yeah, they're just allowed to be happy and regular. It's like it doesn't have to be some big extravagant, like, and sometimes it is, but like it doesn't always have to be like literally waving a flag and being like, accept me. Sometimes it's like, no, I have to go get groceries.
Yeah,
Just going to coffee, actually.
For sure. Like or some big scary thing that it's been made out to be by the people that are against it.
Yeah.
You know, it's just people living their lives.
Yeah.
That just you know, want to be happy and want to freaking have love. That's what's at the basis of it. It's just like people that just want to love and be loved. That's no different than any straight person I know.
That was a really big thing that when I was in college, I ran in like different circles. Like I had like my friends that were very like kind of conservative fraternity sorority life people, and then I had my friends that were, most of my friends were very artsy, like creative types.
Yeah.
And there was this, I remember this guy in town who ran like a Christian coffee shop or something.
Oh, love a Christian coffee shop.
A Christian coffee shop. And he was an out gay guy.
Oh, really?
Well, it's not a good story.
Oh, no. He was in there converting everyone back to, it was conversion therapy.
He was an out gay guy whose thing was like, everyone praised him. Like all the Christians loved him because they were like, he's gay, but he's chosen celibacy because he knows it's not right. And I was like, I just don't understand.
You like drank the coffee like,
I was like, get it out.
Get it out.
This is not the L Word latte I was promised. I want the L Word lattes where everyone turns lesbian. Yeah, that I was like a religion based on love, like praising someone for not allowing themselves. I was like, I don't know.
They were so pumped that he was denying himself.
Loved it.
Yeah.
They found this like trick code. They're like, you can be gay and Christian and we're cool with you. There's only one catch. You have to be absolutely miserable.
Yeah. You have to suppress every happy thing about yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. That's no way to live.
No, it's not good.
I imagine if we were to circle back with this guy, don't you think he's probably...
Something's probably going on.
By
the way, the coffee was killer. Because ultimately, that's a gay barista. You know what I mean? Like he had that gene in him.
He can't hide that part of himself.
You can't hide how well that latte comes out.
Yeah, I mean, he's still, and God, he makes a mean casserole.
God, I bet he does. Fortune, we have a segment for you. This is the true or false segment.
All right.
Okay. Now I'm going to read you 15 statements.
Yeah.
You're going to tell me as quickly as you can if you think what I said is true or false.
Okay.
If you get 10 or more correct, we're going to give you $50 US. Which could change everything.
Which I could buy one of those L Word lattes.
Exactly correct. And only one in LA. Okay. Newborn baby koalas are the size of a jelly bean.
True.
That is true. Peanut butter can be converted into diamonds.
False.
It's true. Will Ferrell's legal first name is Willard.
False.
False. It's John. Jupiter is the same size as the sun.
False.
False. Belmont, North Carolina was named after August Belmont, a New York banker.
True.
That is true. Each year the moon moves closer to the earth by 4 centimeters.
True.
False. It's moving away.
Oh.
A lemon contains more sugar than a strawberry.
True.
That is true. Peace College was originally called the Peace Street School.
No, false.
False. It was the Peace Institute. Snakes can see with their eyes closed.
True.
It is true. Facebook is older than eBay.
False.
False. The state beverage of North Carolina is bourbon.
False.
False. Do you know what it is?
No. Cheer wine?
It's milk.
Milk? God, I should have known.
In France, it's illegal for employers to send emails outside of work hours.
True.
That is true. Laura Linney is a certified skydiving instructor.
True.
That's false.
Oh.
The tiny pocket in jeans was made for pocket watches.
True.
That is true. Bullfrogs never sleep.
False?
It's true. How'd she do?
11. Whoa!
One of the best we've had in a while.
Wow.
Fortune.
And I almost got the last one I changed in my mind at the last second.
The 11's a really solid
almost had 12.
performance. That was killer.
Woo!
I'm like a little in awe right
I feel
now.
pretty good about
That's
myself.
good,
It's hard to
dude.
think that fast.
It is. And the questions are all so tricky.
And honestly, you have a 50-50 shot.
You really do. Fortune, it's been such a treat to have you.
Oh, what a treat to be on your podcast, talking with you. I love to watch you. You're such a delight.
I'm such a fan, as you know.
Same.
Is there anything you want to tell the people where they can find you, get tickets, etc.?
Well, I am on this brand new tour that will go for a while. Tons of cities have just been announced, and a lot more cities are coming. FortuneFeimster.com. For that stuff, and online on the socials. And if you like stand-up, I have 3 specials on Netflix, so check those out. Crushing It being the latest one.
Yeah.
And the Handsome Pod, if you like
And the Handsome Pod with Tig and May.
Yeah.
Yeah, we love you. Thank you for doing it.
I love you, bud. Thanks for having me.
That was a Headgum podcast.